Flexing is an exercise that we use to develop deeper communication with our horse. Our goal is to teach our horse to give to the pressure the halter is applying to her face and head. This is an exercise that directly translates to a safer riding experience. It is the beginning stages of a one-rein stop and helps them to be soft in our hands both in the saddle and here on the ground. In this exercise, we don't want the horse's feet to move at all. We just want her to follow the pressure of the halter. We position ourselves near her hindquarters, always with the connection to her head via the lead rope so that she can't move forward and kick us. And with neutral body language, we pick up the lead rope, which in turn makes contact with her face through the halter. Her response should be to tip her head toward us to follow our lead. This is very much like dancing with a really great dance partner. The leader does not have to yank or pull the follower because the follower chooses to allow the leader to put them in varying positions. This is the same concept here. We are teaching her to choose to give to very light pressure, and then we will release that pressure as soon as she tries. We want her to be as soft as possible, so we pick up very gently and give her a chance to make a decision. If she brings her head around and makes the lead rope soft in our hands, we will immediately release by dropping the lead rope and removing all pressure on the halter. A horse that's soft to halter pressure like this will be soft to the pressure of a one-rein stop. And a one-rein stop is a safety mechanism we use when teaching our riding exercises. To be clear, it is something that must be taught before it can be used in an emergency, and this flexing exercise is the beginning of that lesson. Now we'll introduce this exercise to a horse for the first time. We take the lead rope and drape it over her back so that we always have it under our control. Once she gives to the halter pressure, we will give back to her, releasing all the lead rope pressure. But since it's draped over her back, our other hand still has control of the rope, and we need it there to prevent from throwing it all away when we release. We position ourselves near the hindquarters. We do this so that she'll have space to flex her head and neck around and we're not in her way. We then reach down and pick up very lightly. We do not want to yank or surprise her. We want to let her feel the pressure of the halter and make a choice of what to do about it. The type of pressure we are using in this exercise is steady pressure and is one of the hardest types for horses to figure out how to release. They are much more inclined to lean on this type of pressure than to follow it. Remember that our goal is to have her feet remain still and her head and neck flex around to her side. When we pick up, we will only release when both of these things have happened. If she moves her feet, we will maintain pressure and just move with her. Every time I pick up, I'm waiting for that moment when her feet are still and she has made the lead rope soft in my hand by giving to the halter pressure. This time, when I pick up, she flexes her head but immediately begins moving her feet. When she finally stops moving her feet, she goes back to pulling on the lead rope. Again, this is the type of pressure that is very difficult for her to figure out how to get the release. Here, she has stopped moving her feet, which is the first criteria, but she is not at all soft in my hand. I'm going to give her a chance to figure out that pulling against the lead rope is not the answer, but she just leans on the halter here, so I bump the lead rope to help her understand that there's a different solution. As soon as she makes that rope soft in my hand, I immediately release it back to her. You can see the bump on the lead rope, and as soon as she makes that lead rope soft in my hand, I give her the release. Based on the licking and chewing, you can see that she's had an aha moment. So the next time I pick up, she has now figured out that I don't want her feet to move. Now we just have to work on getting her to make that lead rope soft in my hands. I'll use the bumping motion to help give her a hint that she needs to flex instead of lean. And as always, I'll use the release to prove to her that she's done it correctly. After a couple more repetitions, she's really starting to understand that I want her to keep her feet still. She's still leaning a bit, so I'll go ahead and turn her around so it's easier to see the tiny little bumps that I'm using to help prevent her from leaning on that lead rope. That was her best repetition yet, so we'll stop there and go to the other side. Now that we've switched sides, we know that we're starting over at square one. We reach down and pick up gently to see what kind of response she's going to give. Clearly, she has gone back to the technique of moving her feet and pulling on the lead rope to see if she can get the release. So we're just going to hang with her and wait until she does two things. First, she has to keep her feet still, and second, she has to be soft in my hand. She's done both, and we give her the release. Over these next 3 repetitions, she's proven that she understands so well, she doesn't even straighten her neck between flexes. I pick up, she gives almost immediately. So we'll release and rub and end the session there.